Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to another edition of Men on Fire here on Soul Mechanic TV and Soul Mechanic Radio. Today, I want to talk about something that maybe we haven't been putting enough emphasis on. I know we've been talking a lot about things to do with our inner selves and working on our inner selves, our soul, our heart, and developing that because that is are closest to our divine nature, who we truly are. And as important as that is, I don't want us to forget about our minds as well. And I have labeled our mind as something that is more of a reptilian of nature, very old, isn't designed to do certain things. However, thoughts become things, and thoughts originate in our mind. Well, okay, they could originate in the ether out there through quantum process of waves and particles. That's fine. We can go over that another day. But we still think things through in our mind. So in this episode, I want to try to talk about a mindset, and that is how to develop a growth mindset. So how can we develop a growth mindset? Many people operate every day out of a fixed mindset. And what that means is that they don't believe they can grow. They don't believe they can get any better than they already are. They don't believe that they can do any more than they're already doing because their nature and their personality is God-given. It's just who they are. They'll never change, and that'll never change. So they'll never be able to get better. And it's just a way of thinking about things and your perception of it. And unfortunately, it's holding them back. And that old adage of you're like the 5 people you hang around with most. And if they all adopt that same mindset, that fixed mindset, then you're just part of the group. And you're just reacting to the world around you instead of developing your own mindset. So there are a number of rules. I have 4 of them listed here that I feel are important for you to establish a growth mindset, and we'll go through them now. So rule number 1 is believe in your ability to figure things out. Pretty simple, isn't it? But many of us don't. We don't keep going with something. We read something or look at it, or the boss tells us to do something and go, ooh, I'm going to need a hand with that. I better ask a coworker, a peer, a friend, or Google it, or whatever that is for you, instead of believing that we can actually figure things out on our own. Because without this belief, basically we quit. We quit on it. Even just going to Google is we quit. I can't figure this out. I quit. I can't figure out these numbers by subtraction. I need a calculator. So we quit. And I know many of us do that. And, I'm the same. There's many times that I think about something and I need to do some research. And instead of, it's so much easier to go on the computer and Google things than drive down to the local library and hope they have a book on the subject and that it's not too old, because of course books and libraries for those kinds of things usually tend to be older information. So even if it's just 5 years old, many things change in today's society in those 5 years. So without this belief that we can figure things out ourselves, we tend to stagnate and just quit and don't even bother trying to figure out the answers. So the first rule is to believe in your ability, that you have this ability to figure things out. You just have to figure out a plan and take action, and you can do this. And rule number 2 is question your assumptions. Now, we all assume that, going back to the first rule, we are who we are, and that's it. And then we say to ourselves, who am I to do that? Who am I to think that I could do that, or I could figure that out, or I could do those things? Who am I to do that? I'm not like them. I'm not skilled and conscious of my abilities like they are. They're so confident. That's not who I am. So we just assume it, basically, again, probably because we're hanging out with the same people that have the same assumptions, right? So we need to expand that. So what can we do tomorrow? So we don't want to let our current conditions of today, our skill set and our abilities today dictate what we can do tomorrow. Because what you know today, and a new challenge comes along, you don't automatically know how to face it. You don't automatically know how to do it. I mean, I've done that so many times in my life already, and it's a scary thing when you don't know how to get to the next level. How do I get up there? I see people up there. How did they do it? They must have been fed with a silver spoon, or someone just took them by the wayside and taught it to them. No, it was a leap of faith. They took a leap of faith that they could figure it out. And it's scary because you don't know what's up there because you haven't been there yet. And that's absolutely normal. That's a normal reaction. I haven't been there. I don't know what to expect. Even when you travel around the world or go to another town you haven't been to, I don't know what to expect there. What's going to be there? How many restaurants are going to be there? Will there be a nice hotel? All those sorts of things. So that goes through your mind. So if you haven't been to a certain level, it's normal to think like that. But once you get there, yeah, there's going to be some uncertainty. You're not quite sure your footing. What should I do in this situation? But you learn. You take the time to observe and learn from others. And then you start to feel more comfortable. And then you start gaining confidence. And then with the confidence comes competence. And we discussed this way back when with the confidence and competence loop, which just breeds it over and over again. So rule number 3 then is to develop your own life curriculum. And you'll see how these 3 come together in a little bit. So if you can develop your own life curriculum, what does that mean? Well, you're not sitting back and waiting to learn something at school, college, university, high school, whatever it is, or someone to take you by the wayside and say, read this book. They're telling you what to do. You have to develop your own life curriculum. And you can do that through books, and CDs, DVDs, YouTube channels, podcasts, just like this one, go to seminars, all those sorts of things. Don't wait for a school or someone else to develop a curriculum for your life. And one of my mentors, Jim Rohn, had a famous quote that said, formal education will make you a living, but self-education will make you a fortune. So you have to decide and start to do things on your own. You can't just sit back and say, oh, I'm done. I'm all done with learning. I finished high school. I just don't have nothing. There's nothing else in the world for me to learn. I know it all. Well, actually, the opposite is true. You know very little, and there's so much out there. You only learned what was taught to you by teachers that were following a curriculum that a school board set out for you, that thought that, yeah, they probably need to learn this. But they're not you. And you're not them. You are you, and you have to develop a curriculum for you. So you develop this curriculum for yourself. So you find out what you're passionate about. What's your dream? What would you love to do? And then you develop a curriculum to make it possible. And I teach many of the times with my students here at Infinite Success Academy that their why should be so big, so exciting, so almost unachievable, because it's probably at least 10 years out and you have no idea what's going to happen in 10 years. But it's so damn exciting that it gets you out of bed in the morning. It makes you want to do it because, wow, I could do that. It's the horizon. When you're standing on the beach looking out and you can't see any further, it's the horizon. And that's how far out that goal can be, your dreams can be. Do not be afraid to dream big. We're told often by parents, teachers, peers, bosses, just do this. If you just did this every day, that's enough. It's not enough. Dream bigger. Dream bigger than this. You can do this stuff. I mean, I didn't always used to know the things that I do now. I didn't know how to do video or set up a podcast or talk to a camera. There's nobody else in this room but that camera and me. And it's not that easy just to talk to a camera with no reaction from anybody else. So public speaking can be much easier. But I had to learn how to do that too. I had to learn how to study and go, when I went to seminars, to take copious amounts of notes and to read books and meditate and visualize and all these things I didn't know nothing about 15 years ago. But every time I needed to get to the next level, I had to adopt or add that to my curriculum to allow me to get comfortable with what I'm doing today. And some of you may be watching this podcast on YouTube, especially through the video, and say, you know what, it kind of sucks compared to some YouTube videos. Well, you know what? That's fine. I don't mind that, because I know that I will only get better. So what you're seeing right now is my low point for you, but I know I'm growing, and I know whatever I do, I will constantly get better. So check me out 6 months from now, check me out a year from now, and see what it looks like then. So don't be afraid to go ahead and start it, get it done. So what, you're gonna suck? So what, people make fun of you? So what, that they say, what are you doing that for? Who are you to do that? Don't worry about it. Develop your curriculum. You can do this. So if you're not living your own curriculum, then you're just reacting again to whatever the world gives you. Whatever happens day by day comes your way, you react to it, which is usually news, which is usually negative. So is that the life you really want for yourself? In the end of your days, what was your legacy? Oh, I listened to the news every day, and you know, it was good for me. I had cancer and a whole bunch of other diseases because I was always so damn negative. Is that what you want? Nothing accomplished. You didn't, even if you help one person in your life, be it your children or your spouse, especially, but anyone else. If you just have a little bit more sympathy or empathy for someone, just once, that's huge compared to living a life of complacency and just allowing other people to bring things to you that you can react to, right? You got to get through this. And number 4, the last rule here is, during this journey, you're going to fail and you're going to suck at what you do. It's just the way it goes. And that's fine. We just talked a little bit about this, right? But during those times, here's the key to this. During those times that you're failing, that you're sucking, that people tell you you're no good at what you do, then honor the struggle. Look at it and say, I'm going to honor this struggle. Don't hate this part of the process. There's no reason to. It's just part of the process. So don't say, this sucks, I quit. Say, this is part of my learning journey, and I need to continue to overcome this. So this then will strengthen you. You'll say, I will use this as a tool to be a little more sympathetic or empathetic towards others. This will help me serve others. This is forging a a stronger character in myself. I will become stronger. And people who maintain this growth mindset over time that we've just been talking about are forging huge advances in their character. And they develop a resilience to honor the struggles as part of the process. So when the new challenges, the new struggles arrive, because obviously they will, no matter what, as you're moving forward, you're constantly learning more, which brings in more struggles, more challenges. That's the way life is set up. And acknowledge it. And you develop then a resiliency. And when these new struggles and challenges present themselves, you don't fight it. Now you're not freaking out and you don't fight it. You sit back and say, okay, this is a new challenge. This is a new struggle. Here we go. I can figure this out, right? Right back to the rules. I believe I can figure this out. I can handle this. I will build a curriculum to overcome this. So if you can do this, you will develop a long-term growth mindset. A few simple rules to develop a growth mindset. Keep this mind forging in the right direction, helping you develop your life curriculum to develop your long-term growth mindset. And once you do this, you'll experience what we like to call here at Infinite Success Academy, a successful life. So thank you so much for tuning in today and listening to my message. I hope this served you, and I hope to see you next time here on Soul Mechanic TV and Soul Mechanic Radio. Take care. Bye for now.